That's going to leave a mark.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Nerd Age Podcast. This is a show where we talk about everything nerdy. My name is Mick. With me, as always, are my co-hosts, Josh.
What's up?
Jonah. Hey. And Corey.
What's up?
Welcome to the show, guys. If you like what you see here, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel and leaving a comment down below and giving us a big thumbs up. A nerdy thumbs up. With that being said, we are going to jump into some episode 8 of Ahsoka. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is the title of it, something like that. And we're going to be talking spoilers. So spoiler alert, if you have not watched that episode, go watch it now and then come back. And yeah, let's jump into it.
Yeah, we finally get to talk about it. It's been
Season finale.
It's season finale. It's been a whole week almost.
Yeah, basically.
Which I've been chomping at the bit to talk with you boys about
We're
it.
a very limited schedule,
Yeah,
guys. Okay, we're trying our hardest.
You know, and we know that there's so many videos and YouTube channels out there that
But none like
are
ours.
first. You know, they want to be first. We want to simmer on it.
take
We
our
want
time,
to,
you know?
we want it to
Good things that come to those who
Marinate.
wait.
Well, I mean, also, it's nice because I can watch the episode multiple times.
That's right.
And really have a solid stance
So
on
now you're going to hear from us things that you haven't heard before. No, so yes, it's called The Jedi, the Witch.
Actually, the episode's called
the Warlord.
The Jedi, the Witch, and the Warlord, which is a cool nod to Chronicles of Narnia, C.S. Lewis. That was really cool when I saw that. I loved this finale. I thought it was really good. I know there's kind of like mixed reviews out there. But as far as what we were kind of promised, I got some of the things that I really wanted. I think we kind of talked about a lot of the stuff that was going to happen. We talked
pretty
about
close to
Ahsoka being left back there. We talked about the round 2 duel versus with Morgan, Elsbeth. We kind of talked, and some of the things we talked about with
No, I mean, we called most
Balin.
of the main plot points out, 100%.
So yeah,
We knew Balin would be going after this at the end of it. So.
yeah. And so I thought it was cool. I really liked. I think my favorite stuff again. The thing that hit me the most, and I'm just gonna be jumping around, and you guys can jump in, do your own thing. But the thing that hit me.
Thank you, sir.
Are we going to vote now?
The thing that hit me at the end of the first thing I thought when it was over was, what a bummer that was the last shot we got to see of
Ray
Stevenson as Balin.
It was a sick shot, though.
It was. And it was just like, man, what a legend. Like the fact that he was able to make this character one of my favorite characters on seriously probably 40 minutes of screen time. Like that's
maybe
when you take all the scenes
dialogue.
he's had.
Oh, yeah.
It was probably like 30 to 40 minutes.
12 lines of dialogue total.
And he did such a good job. And that was the first thing I thought was like, man, what a bummer that he's not around to continue that character. And also to kind of see how many people are really like loving his character. Cause I think that's the biggest thing that's come out of Ahsoka is most people just loved the Balin and Shin characters. So that was kind of my first thought. What do you guys think about his portrayal and kind of, was that something you guys thought about when it was over?
Yeah. And I think he was, at least probably for most people, but yeah, for us, I think every episode we praised his character and what he was doing.
Yeah.
There was never a moment where I was like, I'm not really interested in what he's talking about or his motivations. So yeah, it's a shame. I don't know what they're going to do moving forward, but I hope that his character is still given something to do in either a recast or an animated short or something, because obviously something is very interesting with what he's doing. So yeah, it's sad that we lost him, but I hope his character lives on.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a significant part of it. So I'm guessing they'll recast.
Yeah.
I don't see them doing like deep fake or anything like that. Yeah, I don't see that happening. I think they're just going to have to find someone that looks, at least somewhat like him, acts similar to him. I think that's what they'll end up doing.
Sport a beard.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I think it's weird if you do the deep fake. Then it just feels icky.
Yeah.
But he's been he's been in one season of Star Wars. It's not like recasting a Leia or a Luke or, you know, like those legacy characters. It's kind of like you can still get away with recasting him and being like, hey, unfortunate, everyone knows the situation that he passed away. So it does leave big shoes for the next actor to fill.
Yeah.
But I think you can get an actor that can have that same weight.
Or similar weight.
Similar weight and look similar and not be distracting. What do you think, Corey?
I don't think they'd be able to do it. I mean, it would be really hard. I think it'd be a really low quality deepfake because think about how much they have to work off of Mark Hamill.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
true.
Thousands of hours of footage. They don't have that much of him.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really difficult thing. But I think they do need to recast. On the other hand, you know, Thrawn is the big threat. And for us, Rebel Clone Wars guys, we're thinking more of his storyline.
Yeah.
At least I am. Because I find it really interesting. But I don't know, like, how much they'd have to go into it. Like, it's season 2, and then that's probably it for that. So I think they can do it, and it doesn't have to, like, go throughout the rest of whatever Star Wars is from this point on.
See, I disagree with that
Okay.
because I think what they're going to do.
But I'm saying in the forefront.
Right. But I think what they might be planning on doing is have a tease of what this is for then the conflict to be after the sequel trilogy. Does that make
After the
sense?
sequel.
Yes.
Like set it up for them.
Yeah. Like they're introducing
10,
what
11,
this
12.
is.
If they say they introduce Abeloth, which we've discussed, right? Which is this.
Yeah. But I don't believe he's going to be Abeloth.
No, I don't think he is, but I think they are. I think they are setting up that she's calling to him.
You think so?
Yes, and so what I think is going to happen is I think Ahsoka is the daughter, Anakin is now the father, and then you have Balin who can be the son. I think that's what we're trying to set up. So you got these 3 characters that are keeping Abeloth at bay, and then you can have them being like, "Oh, we stopped her," or whatever. They introduced this character, and then somehow. 30
Abeloth has
years
returned.
30 years after the sequel. Well, Abeloth is an eternal being. Like they always have to keep her imprisoned is what kind of the story is.
So where's she in prison now?
I think what he was looking at was where she's imprisoned. That volcano, that little mountain that had the light on it.
Glowing light.
I think that's where she is. And so I think it would be smart that you introduce this whole thing, this kind of like a side quest kind of thing. You got Thrawn as the main threat, but this is kind of like a separate, like, oh, it's more on the spiritual side of things. And then what ends up happening is 30 years later from what the sequels happened, she comes in as the main villain for the next trilogy. And you already have a backstory to her and is kind of this bigger threat. And she can have Sith people and have all this stuff because she corrupts people. And then you have Rey and those people going after her. And in that way, you still can have Hayden Christensen be a part of the movies because he is battling her and Ahsoka, even though they would be technically Force ghosts at that point. But it's a full scale, like spiritual realm, you know, like World Between Worlds realm and the physical in the Republic.
I think that theory works if those people are like alive and they're actual main characters that can like live throughout and like have a lasting effect. The fact that they're like, they would like at least Hayden Christensen would be, or Anakin would be a Force ghost. I feel like it's a weaker. It's something you can't like post up your whole storyline on. So it's like unless his role was maybe lesser than like Ahsoka's role, it would work that way. But I have a hard time believing that, you know, Anakin can become the main character again, even though he's dead. Like I think it's kind of weird.
What if
Doesn't that sound weird? Huh? Like it sounds weird.
Yeah, but what if it's kind of like there's 2 things going on at the same time? So there's again, for lack of a better word, the spiritual realm kind of aspect where the Force ghosts are, right? And so there's that aspect that they're kind of having to deal with stuff. You could have like old Sith showing up and have this whole like Darth Revan, Plagueis, and Anakin and Ahsoka have to deal with these like spiritual beings, the Force on that side, while there's stuff going on in the like human plane. Does that make sense? So technically they're kind of not overlapping. It's like they're going side by side.
And so is
that make
Ahsoka
sense?
alive and she's just...
I would think if this goes past the sequel
phasing?
trilogy,
Oh.
I think she's dead by then.
Oh, okay.
She's the daughter at that point. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I understand.
So
And
she's not in the real world.
I mean, I think she already is to some degree right now. But yeah, I mean, I just don't think you can put 3 main big time movies on that. Personally, that's just my opinion. I just think it's weaker. I think, and you're also trying to build new characters, so you'd have to somehow make it make sense with like them and their relationship. So if you center around like Ezra, Sabine as like new characters who are like really older, like I don't know, it'd be interesting.
Yeah,
you'd really have to finesse it and for it to be really strong and for people to buy in on it, because that's one of the things with this series that I think. There's a little bit of struggle here, is that I think they're going a direction which all of us Rebels, Clone Wars fans really love. This is an awesome adaptation of the animated series into live action. That's literally what it is. It's literally just another season, and it's so great for us. But I see people like Brie who's like, she doesn't know like half the stuff that's going on, and I think that's awesome for us that we get to know all this cool stuff.
to lord it over people.
No, just that experience. Just we enjoy it more.
Yeah.
we do.
Yeah.
But I feel bad for people who don't have that knowledge and experience and like the history with the characters for it to mean more. And so, yeah, I mean, I think she said, I've been kind of getting sick of Star Wars because of like Book of Boba Fett and stuff like that. She's like, it's just been kind of not super engaging for her. And then she was like, but this was like, she rated it like an 8 something.
Oh, nice.
And so she's like, I actually liked it. It was actually good. It was still like, they were kind of losing me at the beginning, but it really turned around a lot. And I was like, oh, awesome. That's sweet. So it's cool. I think that's a cool perspective to kind of see, is that like, a nerd who liked Star Wars and maybe still likes Star Wars, but like they need to
hasn't
see
kept
something.
up on
Isn't seeing everything, right?
She knows the movies. She's watched all the movies, but it's like the Clone Wars, Rebels, that kind of stuff, more on the periphery, is not something she's gotten into.
Dave Filoni would have to make a lot of awesome moves to make this concept that you're coming up with like the Father, the Son, and stuff like that, which they're going in that direction, to make it really connect with everyone, because they'll have to do it a lot until people really get on board. Oh, yeah. It's like that kind of deity aspect. Oh, yeah, that Abeloth is immortal. Like what? We've never seen that in Star Wars. This is crazy. It's very different from Star Wars. It's a new take. It's a fresh new take, which I think is good. But yeah, anyway,
That'll be the name of the movie, actually. A fresh new take.
Right.
That'll be good.
Episode 10, a fresh new take.
That's right.
Yeah, with the Abeloth stuff, I actually wonder whether or not they'll actually do that. I feel like this is just another thing of like Snoke is Darth Plagueis. It just makes too much sense. Oh, it all makes, you know what I mean? It's just fans running with the thing, and then they're not going to, it's going to be something different than Abeloth, and they're going to be like, well, this is terrible. That Abeloth was way better. So I feel like that's probably what's going to end up happening. I might be wrong, but who knows? But
like season 2 of Ahsoka, doesn't that obviously turn into her quest to kind of like keep that from happening, or maybe like
find out where Balin's going.
Yeah, well, but that feels like the whole point of interest, right?
No, I agree.
For
But
that season.
I agree. Season 2 is definitely their quest, but I don't think it has to be Abeloth like everyone's like. It's like,
You're saying it can just be the
it
father.
can be something
it's
else.
like
It can
to
be the
keep
father
Balin-
and daughter. It can keep
Balin
Balin from getting to the world between worlds and resetting everything. Like people have said. I feel like everyone is like Abeloth 100%. That's what it is.
It's just,
and I'm like,
I feel you because
it's in one book.
No, there's just a little more to it than that.
well, she or whatever it is a straight up villain, and it's like a pure evil. Like that's cool. Like it's rare to see that. So that's something that would be a decent villain. The problem is we're talking about deities and gods and stuff at this point, which is way off the course.
Yeah.
Which is what Star Wars is. So where are we going? Like, what are we doing? I think that's the problem. We're off the rails.
And I don't.
An immortal that needs to be locked away by the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
I wouldn't say it's that off-brand Star Wars. Like, from what we've seen, but even like George Lucas has talked about, like, you know, these stories are from, you know, from the Journal of the Wills, like, and who are the Wills? The Wills are this, like, so there's an aspect of like a higher being, kind of like the Force, all this stuff that it's sci-fi fantasy, so it does fit in that realm. And the stuff that Dave Filoni did in Clone Wars with this kind of stuff was from George Lucas kind of thing. So I do think it's there. I do agree with you, though. You have to present it a certain way.
Do a lot of work. Yeah.
Because there's the hardcore fans and there's the casual fans. For casual fans, like my parents, if they were ever to watch
is this even Star
any
Wars?
other stuff, they'd be like, "What? Oh, this got crazy."
Yeah.
But I just think, like you said, it's cool. It's a fresh take, new take.
Yeah.
And I just feel like we need something like that, because
the name of it, bro.
You can't have episode 10 show up and be like, there's another, not the Empire, but the final order, like that's similar. You need to have something that's like, okay, what can you give us that's different? Like I need dragons to start showing up. So space dragons.
I'll say a thing to go to your point. I think with George Lucas, and I think he said this in like several interviews, I don't know, it's something to the point of like it's healthy for you to always try new things,
right?
Just on a basic level. So you see 4, 5, 6 is so different from 1, 2, 3. Mm-hmm. Why is it so different? Well, it's because George Lucas is trying something different. And I think that's healthy. And I think it's also important to storytelling to not just do the same things. Look at what happened, right? Mm-hmm. They tried to do the same tropes and then, well, they didn't communicate well. But, it's good to start new things. Well, is this the right one? Maybe. I don't know.
Well, and George Lucas' plan, the rumor is to do 7, 8, 9 was supposed to be like the movies were going to take place on a microscopic level. Like it was going to go into the midichlorians. And there's a whole universe.
Wait, like, on a cellular level?
On a like
wait. Like Ant-Man.
Wait, this is Ant-Man?
No, that was kind of his plan.
Yeah, dude,
that was kind of his plan to do, like he was going to mess with that kind of stuff.
He also had a MODOK.
The notes that he gave to Disney on how he wanted the sequels to go. That's what part of the thing was. That
and
they were going to go.
And the bad guy was Darth Proton.
But it was going to take place between like, again, because he said, I want to do something different. It was going to be like... like discovering this whole different realm of existence in the midichlorians, and you're going to get more of that. So that's so I don't know. It's just like you said.
Luckily, we're not getting that. Well, we are. I think we are moving towards something new, and I think that is good.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, that's George Lucas, right?
Yeah.
And you could feel that in 1, 2, and 3. You're like, he's trying stuff new.
Yeah.
And then he kept changing things even after they released it. They're like, actually, change the CGI on this. I'm like, like,
right.
The guy, he just wants to be creative. He wants to try new things. It's not fun to just do the same thing over and over for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So I think that there's potential here. I would probably just dial it back. I think that it's part of season 2, big time. Main story of season 2 of Ahsoka.
If we get a season 2, they haven't greenlit it. But
Right. But it's rumored. It's rumored.
Yeah. And I think you can.
Blue
I
Angel.
think you can pepper in other stuff in Mando and other things that kind of show like that it's building towards that.
So I will say this. I also mentioned to Brie, I was like, let me pitch you this. Did you like Mandalorian? She's like, oh yeah, I like Grogu. And I'm like, all right, sweet. Book and Boba Fett, you didn't like that much. Yeah, fair enough. But what if I told you they're going to have a movie where it's accumulation of all these storylines because it's all during the same time frame? And she's like, oh. And I was like, yeah, this is actually happening right after Mando season 3. And she's like, oh, see, I wish I knew that. Even though they do say it in the story, they do mention it briefly. But I think that has potential because a lot more people watched Mando season 1 and 2. And so, And so if you tie in Grogu to the main story, you're in, baby.
What if Grogu becomes the brother or the son?
He has to be the son, dude. Not the.
Listen here, guys. I'm gonna get us back. I'm just gonna get us back on track because we haven't talked about the episode already.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
We talked about the episode.
We talked about Balin, and then you guys are like, "What's the big picture?"
I mean,
I think Dave Filoni.
I mean, let's be honest. It's all
Guys,
about Balin.
we told you that you were gonna get things you've never heard, and this
You
is
want to
how it
rehash
is.
what everyone else is saying?
Okay, what do you have to say about the season?
Walk us through. Walk us through.
I'm going to start at the beginning.
Okay.
And we're going to start with the sisters doing the ritual to Morgan Elsbeth.
Yeah,
was
she got
sweet.
screwed.
And then getting that sweet sword. That is like fantasy level crap. And I was
The
like,
Blade of Talzin.
I was like, that was awesome.
I don't think it is as much as I wanted, though, when it comes to these guys' magic. But it was very cool. Very cool.
You wanted 2 swords, 2 blades.
No, I wanted the use of like the actual like magic that you see in like Jedi Order, like Fallen Order and stuff like that.
Yeah. I thought
But it's very, very cool. Very,
I
very
just
cool.
thought
I'm not
the
disagreeing
fact
with
of
you.
like them summoning a sword for her to
sort of
use.
The Blade of
Talzin,
Talzin.
yeah.
Talzin, yeah.
Mother
I thought that
Talzin.
was
Cool.
That was really cool.
And that's a blade
intro.
she used in Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool.
But yeah, I thought that
Mace
was just a really cool, different idea out there from what we normally see. But I thought that was a good start to the episode. I thought.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. We just saw like, and then we all started talking at the same time. Sorry.
Yeah, we need more practice.
Well, I always skip to the end, so I don't know what to do when someone starts with the opening of the
Well,
episode.
I'll keep that going. Ezra ends up building his newest lightsaber again.
That looks just like Kanan's. That was really
Yeah, I thought that was a cool callback. And then what's his face talking about how he kept the extra
Yang.
one.
Yeah, Yang.
Telling you, he was numbered like second best character in my opinion. In this.
He's the best droid ever.
He's so good.
In a
I'm with you.
long history of
And he can hold his
fantastic
own.
droids,
He can take out.
he might be my favorite droid of all time.
I could believe that. I would say Chopper may be number 1 though, because he's killed so many.
Well, that is true, but I mean, Hu Yang. He's trained so many that then killed so many. So what's his kill count?
Question. How did Hu Yang know that Caleb was Kanan? Plot hole. Different names.
I just heard you said
Plot hole, Jonah. None of this editing crap. Don't edit me to say it either. Get out of here. Butthole. I feel like you heard what you wanted to hear. It was just something that I saw. I was like,
Right,
because
because he says Kanan and then he refers to him as Caleb later.
Yeah.
Like in that, so like he knows them. Ahsoka told him,
Yeah.
yeah, 100%. 100.
Yeah.
He's been around in the rebellion this whole time.
been
So he
around a lot.
knows that Kanan is part of the Phoenix squad. And
Yeah.
he knows, that's Caleb Dune.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, no, I thought it was really cool. I think some of his lines are some of the most meaningful and wise, which it should be, right? Because he's so old. But it's just so cool to see his lines like where all of his lines about master and apprentice.
Yeah.
And his outlook on that and how he kind of almost has this hopeful but sad outlook on it, and he knows it's so challenging. And I've seen like his lines, and I'm just like, these lines are just so good, and it just reminds me of how good the writing on this series is.
And
for sure.
we talked even about like his emotion, like what they do with his eyes, where they like shut
It's
him
like
halfway.
highlights, yeah.
And I'm just like, man, it looks so good. But one of the things about that scene that happened, again, this is one of my pet peeves about Star Wars fans in general.
I have another one too.
What drives me crazy is throughout this whole season, the amount of people that be like, "Oh, it makes no sense. Sabine is completely different than she is in Rebels. Like Sabine would never do that. All this stuff. And then in this episode, we finally find out that the reason that she is the way she is and she had conflict with Ahsoka is because her whole family got murdered.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's a storyline that we didn't know about.
Yeah, it's
if you
trauma.
watched Rebels, she saves her family, and then now you just realize that, the people that
lost
she
her
saved,
family.
they just got all murdered by the Empire. And so it just drives me nuts when you don't wait. Like they think that Dave Filoni doesn't realize that this is the same character he wrote for Rebels, and he's like, I'm just going to make her completely different. No, there's a reason why time has passed and things are different. How about you just wait and find out why there's a difference? There must be something. It's not that Dave Filoni forgot how he wrote the character. And so it just drives me nuts. It's the same thing when people complain a lot about like, oh, that was a filler episode. And I know that some episodes aren't as important, but the amount of times something's introduced in a episode, like we talked about the Purgle, people complain so much about the Purgle being introduced in this Rebels random episode. And it turns out that the Purgle end up being a huge plot point in the finale of Rebels and in Ahsoka and going to this new planet and all this stuff, new galaxy. So I just feel like you can be a little patient as a Star Wars fan and wait for the kind of story elements to come out before you're like, well, this is stupid. This is so dumb. He doesn't know what he's doing. He didn't, it's just like, wait and let the story breathe a little bit and develop. And then again, if they do a bad job telling the story, by all means, criticize it. But to then be like, before you get any of the facts, be like, Dave Filoni forgot what he wrote about his characters. It's just silly to think that.
Yeah. And that bit of information really does inform how Ahsoka and Sabine have been acting this whole, that's obviously stuff we saw off screen. Like, oh, we didn't know that they had a relationship, but now it's fractured. And that really does inform just everything we see happen later on in the episode where Ahsoka finally kind of accepts, those kind of things. So I thought that scene was really cool. And I like the setup with, man, why am I blanking on Ezra making his lightsaber? And then the potential in my mind was like, oh, cool. Now he gets to go back and he gets to train Kanan's son. He gets to we get another master and apprentice relationship that's basically founded. We get to carry on that legacy. And earlier we saw Jason wanting to, will you show me how to build a lightsaber? And it's like, no, I'm not going to. So like the potential of seeing Ezra train or show him how to build his own lightsaber, having the lightsaber that is basically a replica of his dad's lightsaber is like just cool. It's poetry, it rhymes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people who are having a lot of issues with lots of things in this show. So, I mean, even people have issue with the fact that he's, what? I thought the Kyber crystal called to you and you had to go out and have an adventure to find it. And then, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then it's like, he's not building it with the Force. He's just putting it together. It's like, dude, he learned from a guy who didn't even finish his training. He's a weird Jedi anyway. And then you learn from a weird Jedi. And then that Jedi, Ezra, or whatever you want to call him, even if he is a Jedi, he almost turned to the dark side. And you think Sith do it right? No, like there's a lot of stuff there.
He's a Bogan Jedi,
and
trained in the wild.
I have a feeling
homeschool Jedi.
A lot of people who have a lot of critiques didn't actually watch Clone Wars and Rebels at least.
I'm like, if you're complaining about his lightsaber, let me tell you a little something about Ezra had a lightsaber that was a blaster.
It was a gun sword.
I hoped he was going to have the gun.
Come on. Like that's what he also had like a Force slingshot on his wrist. Yep. Come on. Like if this is what you're complaining about, come on. You did not watch Rebels and you weren't there in season 2 when he builds his lightsaber and he's shooting stun things like stormtroopers with his lightsaber.
Well, that's the thing with that's how things happened.
That's right.
That's how things happened when there was an order, a Jedi order. You know what I mean? It's like you would go to Ilum and get your thing. Mm-hmm. How did Luke build his lightsaber?
It's a deleted scene.
Did he go exactly? Where did he get the Kyber crystal from?
Well, we know now. Yeah. I mean, we know what it was, but we don't. It's not canon.
But it's like there's all these situations where it's like, hey, these are different times. You got to move on. And you've been seeing this the whole season with Hugh Yang's like, I'm following Jedi protocol. And so it's like, guess what?
Yeah.
That doesn't exist anymore.
And also look where it got them.
Yeah.
Jedi protocol.
Exactly.
Right. And I think that's a common thread that they're doing throughout everything, which is really cool because I think that can set up some really interesting things moving forward. What does it mean to be a new Jedi?
Yeah.
And they are so strict on everything. So, yeah.
Well, and it won't matter because, Ben Solo's going to kill them all anyway. So, The next aspect of like so after that opening, I did feel a little bad for Morgan Elsbeth.
She does get wrecked.
She gets like the scene. I felt bad for her when he's like, we're gonna need more.
Someone's got a statement,
and she's like, okay, and like I came all the way here for you, and the mothers, the great mothers, just kind of nod at her like, nice job, and her like she looks, even with the dark eyes, there's like a sadness in her face that I thought was really cool. And then he says for the Empire, and she says for Dathomir. I thought that was really cool. But I wasn't expecting that. I did feel a little bad for her. And it's weird I think that's just how it was written well and her acting. But I did kind of feel like, oh, I feel a little bad for her. Even though she's not a good person, obviously. But I thought that was kind of interesting. I wasn't expecting to feel bad for her. In this series.
Yeah, she really just got turned into a pawn.
Yeah.
Okay, next person in line, get out there. Do your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's cool. And it's similar to that's what the Empire does, right? They take everything that's individual about you and just destroys it basically for their own gain. And the fact that she's like, no, I did this to save Dathomir that was destroyed by, Count Dooku and Grievous previously. It's kind of a sad repeat, I guess. But yeah, I also did feel bad for her in that moment.
And I did think the lightsaber battle, her fight with Ahsoka was really good. I thought the choreography of that might be the best one of the series for me.
You didn't like that one? I just thought it was really, it felt really slow and very like, it didn't match the power that I thought they're bestowing her, this great power. How did she use it? She just had a cool sword and she used her cool sword, but I wanted to see more of this granted power, this borrowed power that she got imbued by the great mothers.
Well, you couldn't because it was shadow power, so it was dark. It was in the shadow.
It was too dark. Yeah, it was light out and it kind of just got... That was my issue with the fight. I wanted Ahsoka to struggle more. Yeah. I understand you can only do so much and just make the episode longer. That's basically the issue. I thought it was lackluster fight, actually, honestly. I thought she had this awesome epic sword and she had this awesome power. I guess because we never saw her use any of this power. And I wish I would have seen it. I wanted her to like grab her with green smoke and throw her against one of the pillars, like do something sick. And there was nothing. And I wish there was more. And so for that fight, I expected more. And I guess maybe I expected too much. But I think
that's on you.
But I think it's justified because they had this whole like
they kind of set it up that
seance thing to like imbue her with this power. And I'm like, where's that at?
Yeah, I agree with that.
To be honest, that was my biggest critique of the whole episode was that fight, and I expected more.
I agree with that,
especially because it's a finale.
I agree with that as far as like if she would have done more like outside. But I was talking more of like the choreography of the sword fighting. I thought was one of the better ones. It felt quicker to me.
Can I bring? I want. Okay.
If you're saying you wanted more of like her using her powers, like more force kind of stuff, I think it could have totally been longer, and that would have enhanced it. So I agree with that.
Another thing that, and I don't want to go too into negatives, obviously, but like one of the things that Ahsoka was so good at was she was so acrobatic in Clone Wars, and she was so skilled at just like jumping around and stuff. Obviously, we're talking about animation here, but I wish she was a little bit more mobile. She was very grounded.
Time to go mobile.
And maybe you're like, what?
Time to go mobile.
Okay.
Dark Knight.
And
there were some girls in here.
Anyway, I know Ahsoka fights cooler than what we saw personally. And so it's just that fight. I expected more because it's the last fight. So that's my only critique. I thought the zombie troopers were sick.
Yeah.
Those guys were dope. Yeah. I love the fact that they just stopped and everyone just watched the fight. Because it was Morgan Elsbeth versus Ahsoka, and it was like this accumulation, and it was like really cool. And I do like how I like, I expected it to go the way it did, but I wanted more struggle. I wanted Ahsoka to come out maybe scathed at least a little bit, but that's my thing.
I think for me, I liked the fight. It looked good. I do agree with you. Like, if you mentioned the power thing, I see that. Also, she does lose a lightsaber in it. Like, it gets cut.
But she knows all the forms.
But then after that, shortly after that, she ends up basically, killing her or whatever. So maybe if they would have dragged that out a little longer of her, like maybe struggling just using one lightsaber, maybe that would have helped. But I thought even from the very beginning when Sabine, Ezra, and Ahsoka were fighting the night troopers off, I thought that was sweet. And even just how they were working together, where it was like, okay, how Ahsoka was leading them. She's like, okay, switch to blasters. And then when he pulled both of them in, and I thought that was really
that
well
was the
done.
best part of that engagement was when they were actually working together. Man, I don't want to be the negative Nancy, but I'll be the guy.
You are. That's you. That's you.
That's your role.
So in that shot, I can remember it. I have this shot stuck in my head.
The butt slice?
It's at the beginning when they're three next to each other, right? And they have the lineup of all the troopers.
And Ahsoka's doing
and they're just doing this. And everyone's doing this. And for me, it just felt like they're being told to go like up, down, left, right, up, down, like that kind of thing, because they're not moving their whole core and their whole body with it. And for me, that kind of took me out because I was like, this is like, it just didn't look super believable because it was so static. Like the shot was so static and they're just like this, do. And for me, it's like, I'm used to like more effort in the deflection and the, the like more like,
more twirling of the...
No, not that. No, just more intent. And I think that's the thing. It didn't feel like a lot of intent was behind every swing or deflection or whatever. Go back to that scene and look at it again. You're probably going to disagree with me 100%. But for me, it felt just like, oh yeah, we're just spinning and we're just doing, and we're not moving forward. We're just standing. And I just wish there was a little bit more movement and a little bit more dynamic shots. In that personally.
Yeah, I've seen that complaint with several people. They take that scene and they post that. And it is like a 3 to 5 second, because then the camera changes, right? But it's that first Ahsoka's doing the swirl there. And then it goes into back to the stormtroopers and then back to them.
Struggles blocking one.
And then she says change of blasters.
But for that first shot, it just didn't feel inspired to me. Okay, guys, it didn't feel inspired.
That's cool. That's fine.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I feel like
I could see that. To me, I just like seeing the three of them with lightsabers. I'm a sucker for like multiple
flashing lights.
I am multiple lightsabers ignited. I'm like, okay, it's silly, but I'm
so
just
that
feel
Coliseum with all the Jedi.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, look at it. Oh, there's a purple
11 out of 10. 11.
Perfect. 10 out of 10.
11 out of 10, bro.
But so I can see that, but at the same time, I'm like, nah. The other one that I saw as people complaining was when he slices the stormtrooper like
in the butt,
like he goes behind him and they're like, whatever. I was like, I'd still
would
die if a lightsaber went through my butt. I would die and I'd be on the ground. Yeah, again, nitpicks. But the other thing, what are your guys' thoughts? Because I know some people are iffy on this. What are your thoughts of Sabine? We knew this was coming, of her finally using the Force. What are your thoughts on how it was done? And what are your thoughts on if you are okay with Sabine being Force sensitive? Because I know some people are like, she shouldn't be. She was never Force sensitive in Rebels, which I don't think is the case because Kanan even trains her. And then Hera has that conversation with her. It was like, the reason she can't give in to the Force is because she's very Mandalorian and how that her mind works. But they never say that she doesn't have the Force. They say, no, it's just harder for her because there's a block in her mind. So what do you guys think on the thoughts of it? How she pushes Ezra and all that kind of jazz?
Well, she used it before when she pulled the lightsaber to her.
She pulled a lightsaber.
Which I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with her pushing Ezra either.
Okay.
And I don't have a problem with her being Force sensitive. I don't know why.
Okay.
I mean, I know why people have an issue because everybody has an issue with everything when it comes to Star
The
Wars.
way you were explaining this, I thought
Yeah,
you
he's
were
gonna say
finally
butt.
going to give a.
He was gonna say butt at the
I
end.
have no problem with her pulling the lightsaber.
And I don't have a problem with this.
But when
pushing.
she was helping out hold the door
Yeah.
open, that's where I draw the line.
Yeah, like,
And I have no problem with her being a Jedi. I was like, oh, okay.
waiting for that butt.
I think
No butts.
I think
Stormtrooper butt.
her getting the lightsaber was cool. And igniting it was cool. And I also like you can the eyes light up. The lens lights up
Yeah.
when the blade goes through. I thought it was pretty cool.
Zombie brains.
The one thing that I could probably say maybe is a legitimate complaint is her being able to force push him like that much. For me, it didn't bother me, but I could see it bothering people. I was already like, okay, she's force sensitive. She's a Jedi. It's sink or swim at this point. So that's what we'll say it is. It's, it has to happen. So
and it was her love for Ezra
that propelled her. It was actually her love, not the force, that actually pushed him up there. Exactly.
Someone needs to edit that. Put that in there instead of the force theme.
But I could say that's the one thing I could see that I'm like, people probably could have a legitimate complaint there of like, oh, well, she just finally was able to use the force and call the lightsaber. So how was she able to push him that high at least? But for me, I don't care.
Do you have a problem with her being a Jedi?
No, it doesn't matter to me.
So that makes her I guess since what's the guy's name? Tar Vizsla?
Yeah, Tar Vizsla.
She's probably the next Jedi because we don't know of any.
Maybe her Grogu?
Well, yeah, I'm saying obviously he's gonna have the dark saber. Corey, do you have a problem with it? Did you have an issue with how it was handled, or?
I mean, I think in the moment I'm like, not like, yeah. You know what I mean? I wasn't like, she's finally done it. It's like, all right.
He was like, I expected.
I knew they were going to do it. It wasn't like, oh yeah, she deserves this.
Yeah.
It was more like, yeah, I knew they were going to do that. That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't care. This is, bro. I mean, the set piece is this. They made the ship so far away. I was like, okay, she's gonna do it. Like, there's no other way unless Hu Yang just picks them up. I don't know.
That would have been awesome. He picks Ezra up and he looks over and goes, "Bad Jedi."
But yeah, I mean, I would say it is kind of rushed the progression. I could understand both sides, but for me, it's not like it's just in the moment. I was like, oh, okay, they're doing this. Yeah. I'm not on either side too much, so I understand.
The other scene I really liked, again, skipping to the end, sorry. But
we're at the end
I liked a callback to Rebels, but Ezra getting the Stormtrooper outfit, because that's what he did constantly in Rebels.
Yeah,
He'd always go undercover.
Even when he replies back, I thought he was going to be like, this is Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, and so that was good. I really liked the reunion with Hera. I liked how he just shows up.
But why didn't they show the hug?
Oh my gosh. I hate that.
I don't. Dude.
And I really like that. And then, of course, the next highlight for me is Hayden Christensen at the end showing up. I thought that was cool to finally, because even though we saw him in World Between Worlds, it was kind of like, well, who is this? Is this like in her mind? This was like, this is Hayden Christensen, Force Ghost, Anakin Skywalker. This is the next time we've seen him since Return of the Jedi when he showed up. Mm-hmm. So that to me was like really cool. And I just thought it really intriguing too, the line of like just shadows in the starlight, which apparently is a title of a book that's coming out.
I think it's out now.
Called Shadows of the Starlight, which is in the Old Republic or the High Republic.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's a line.
They probably just got lucky.
Well, here for you. Some people are saying that will this have to do with Abeloth? Like in that, like, are they going to introduce some of that kind of stuff, and that has to do with something? Would be interesting. We'll find out if someone reads that book.
Josh, someone's got to read it.
Someone's got to read it. But yeah, what did you guys think of? I guess the Ezra reunion and Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, I mean, obviously seeing Hayden Christensen back was awesome, and like you said, it really felt like, okay, we're actually getting the real him, the real ghost him right now. So that was cool, and the series on that, or the episode on that was
I kind of wanted him to say something though. I was like, just say something.
Like, I hate sand or something like that.
She's like,
there's a lot of sand on that planet.
I still don't like sand.
Josh, Corey, what do you guys think of those?
Yeah, I think it was a very Rebels ending. Like they almost felt like epilogues. Like you have the Ezra one, you have the Shin one where she goes. And
Yeah, that was interesting.
I thought that was cool. Kind of like, I don't know what she's like. Hey,
He's my homie.
Hey, check it out! I got one of them lightsabers.
I got a better weapon than you.
Mine's orange red. Remember, just like your armor. Just like your armor.
Yeah. But yeah, that's an interesting aspect of it. And then obviously we already talked about the Balin stuff, and then obviously at the end the
cookies are done.
No, I don't think so. I don't know what that is. Time bomb. But yeah, the Anakin stuff was cool. Yeah, I think it was perfect. The perfect amount of just like a tease, and then let's end it on that. The music on that whole, I've been listening to that over and over again, because then even the music at the end credits changes a little bit, and it's really awesome. I know we've talked about the music this whole series has been amazing, and it just continued in this episode. You even get a little what is it? Yeah, you get the across the stars. No, not across the stars. What is that? What's that one called? Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. So, yeah, overall, pretty good for me. I liked it.
I think it's so cute because you guys, it's so funny because like I watch a lot of anime, and I've talked about this before, but like in the anime world, what happened at the end of this is a lot of like fan service, like specifically with Hayden Christensen. That's like 100% fan service. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just when I saw him, I was like, Jonah's losing his crap right now.
That's right.
It's hilarious.
You know what? This is what I say about fan service. I'm a fan, and I want to be serviced.
Yeah.
So you give me all the fan service that I want.
Wait, what?
Fan service is
Okay. How much do you want?
I want it all. I'm a fan and I want to be serviced. So service me.
Well, let's be honest. Every idea you come up is like fan service for Jonah.
Of course.
100%.
There's a reason why I lost the whole prediction game.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting to me. There's always like when people do reviews and stuff, there's like, oh, there's so much fan service, like as a negative, and I'm like, well, I mean, I kind of like fan service. I think there's
There's a
area
line.
where
There's
it
a
goes
line.
over the line where it's just like it's not meaningful, right? But I feel like when it's done right and it's meaningful, there's a reason why fans are fans of something, because it means something to them. So if you tap into meaningful fan service, I'm like, that's what I want. I want to be serviced as a fan.
Yeah, and with his kind of
Service me
and his,
as a fan.
Oh my gosh, his existence at the end of this might be big fan service, depending on his role in if Ahsoka season 2 happens. If he is there or not. If he's not there, then it was super fan service.
Yeah.
But if he is existence, then
there.
it's not fan service.
Right.
It's part of the story.
Yeah.
And
Like,
I think they're
yeah.
setting him up as going to be like, we're going to get.
But it was so funny because when I saw it, I thought 100% to you. I was like, oh, Jonah's so happy right now.
Yeah,
I'm just
and
so happy.
tears streaming down my
No
face.
way. Again, just seeing
Every
him.
time.
Dude, I pray to God you never meet him in real life. You might die.
I'll go for the, as I always do, double handshake.
awkward double hand.
Whenever I meet someone,
you so, sir.
whenever I meet somebody that I'm like in awe of, I always do something stupid, and that's what I always go for, the double handshake. Oh, nice to meet you. Or I go in for the awkward hug.
It's like you're thanking him for saving your family.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. The firefighter.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm an idiot.
It's
but
cute.
Well, now I know why you never double handshaked me.
no, you're not famous.
And you never saved his family from death.
I'm on a podcast.
Yeah, I'm on the same one. We're not that famous.
But yeah, no, I loved. Yeah, I mean, yeah, past the Anakin stuff, I loved the statue scene. The statue scene was so sick. Balin looked so bad. Loving seeing the daughter's head broken off.
Yeah.
Like a huge thing had gone through it or something happened there. That's awesome. Also, just seeing like, the son, but also seeing the state of things, right? The fact that her head's taken off and they're pristine. That's interesting. And then also the finger pointing out at the mountaintop with the light. There's the episode in Clone Wars where there is a mountain with like a beacon on the top, and that's when all the father stuff is happening. So I'm not saying they were there, but also I'm just saying like that's totally it. Whatever the point of interest is. But I think the thing I was most excited about was the white owl. Just seeing like the existence of that being there. Yeah. And so just the daughter is there with her or whatever that is. But it's just very cool.
Yeah.
For us, Clone Wars, Rebels people, it's awesome. Yeah. It's so sick. It's exactly what you'd want in an adaptation and a continuation too.
Yeah.
It's not just an adaptation. It's so cool that they can do it and translate it to live action. Very impressive what they did, in my opinion. It's just so good.
Yeah.
Quite
awesome.
the feat. You don't see a Dragon Ball. What was it called? What was the Dragon Ball live action called? I can't remember.
Evolution.
Evolution. That's right.
That was that.
You know
that
what I mean?
movie was so good. When they're fighting on the car and the guy's
he's breakdancing.
using the bat.
Yeah.
And he like slides on his head.
Yeah. That was dope.
Totally Dragon Ball, baby.
It's just super impressive though that Dave Filoni and these guys have done such a good job. Yeah. Hats off to them. So what do you guys say? Let's rate it out of 10. Classic.
The full series?
Full series.
Sure.
Okay. Full.
I mean, you can do both if you wanted. You could do the episode one off and then the series. I'd like to know your guys' opinion on the series finale. Actually,
finale. It wasn't my favorite episode.
Okay.
I'd give it an 8.
Okay. And then the whole series.
Whole series. 9.2.
Yeah, so I would have said 9.2 or 9.3 for you. Yeah. Mick, what about you?
Yeah, I think for a finale and then hopefully something coming after this, a season 2, or if he's going to tie it into the movie or whatever. As a finale, I thought it was really good, really well done. I agree. It's probably not my favorite episode, but definitely up there. I would give the finale 9.
Okay.
Out of 10. And then I'd give this series 9 out of 10.
Nice.
Yeah.
Josh?
Yeah, I think for me the finale is it's probably like an 8.5. Series as a whole, I'm probably leaning 9 overall. I just really like all these characters, obviously.
Yeah.
I think for me my favorite thing that came out of this was the exploration of the master and apprentice relationship.
Yeah.
How it gets basically the growth that we see with Ahsoka and Anakin, and how that also relates to Sabine and Ahsoka. I thought just that theme to be explored in this series was really cool. But yeah, I think a solid 9 for me for the series.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I think for the series finale, I think they needed a longer episode.
Yeah,
I think they needed more room. They needed more real estate. Yeah. I don't know why they didn't, and I don't know if I'll ever know that. Why do they limit them to like 45 minutes?
It's probably
50 minutes,
a really boring answer in the end of
I'm sure.
This is some studio mandate or some,
or they're like this is the amount
thing.
of number, like people will not finish that episode, like because they do by minutes watched.
Yeah.
So there might be stuff like that.
But yeah, I was gonna say I think that if we had an hour 10, they could have really knocked it out of the park. I think I would have put it in the 9s for sure. But yeah, I think I would have liked a little bit more progression with Sabine's force powers to be a little bit more believable. I think there was a lot of work done, but yeah, I would have liked that a little bit more believable. Would have loved Morgan Elsbeth to have been more epic and more of a grand fight because of that power aspect of it. But I loved Ezra. I loved the bad guys. I think Thrawn did well. I think his portrayal of the character was really good. Balin was number 1 in my book.
Yeah.
So
number 1 in our hearts.
Number 1 in my heart for sure. Honestly, yeah. So I'm putting it at like the episode probably like a 7-8, and the series probably like an 8-7.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rumor, me, I like to talk about the rumors. Rumor is they cut out several scenes with Balin in the finale.
Interesting.
So they left the one, but apparently there was like 10 to 15 minutes that you were going to see what he was going towards. That they originally said.
Really?
And that they cut that out.
Uh-oh.
It comes from the same person that says they changed the Mustafar. We're going to see Mustafar and all that kind of stuff. So the same person that said that those scenes were cut said that there were originally supposed to be more scenes with Balin. And they're like, we don't know why they cut it. It could be because it showed too much more of what his quest was, and they still haven't figured out what they're going to do. So they decided to just give the tease. But that's a rumor that he was going to have more time in the episode.
Yeah, I feel like they left it open enough to where they could do a lot of different things. I think if they showed more, they'd be locked into something more.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for our discussion on the finale. What did you think of the episode? What do you think of the series? Do you want a season 2? Let us know in the comments below, whether either on YouTube, on our Instagram page, or on TikTok. We are now, Corey, as you can see there, if you're watching on YouTube, Corey painted this awesome Darth Maul trophy, and it's going to go to the winner of our predictions. So
at the beginning, well, go ahead.
First, I just want to say, if you haven't listened to our podcast, we went through 40 questions of what the predictions were going to be from who was going to show up. Crazy things
Random
to
plot
normal
points.
things.
Yeah, plot points. People.
But we went through 40 of them. And if you got it right, you got a point. If you got it wrong, you got a negative.
That's the catch, right?
So
there.
I've counted this 3 times.
So brutal. Okay.
I sent this to you guys so you guys can go in if you want to on notes and look. But I just wanted to share the difference. So my score was -9.
We believe that, yeah.
Okay. -9 because I went all out because I was.
He said yes to so many.
I said the Bendu was showing up. I said Han Solo was showing up. Anyways, so I'm out. But
wait.
The winner won with 26 points. So just think about that.
Yeah.
Winner got 26.
Wow.
It's a pretty
I was at a
brutal-
-9. So the winner got 26. Second place is at 25.
Wow.
And third place is at 24.
Dang,
So-
that's pretty crazy.
Hey guys, we did pretty good.
So
Good
it's-
job, guys.
it seriously goes down to like one question. If there was a flip on any of one of these, it would have been different.
Went either
But
way.
with 24 points, Josh,
Dang it.
24 points,
Gosh dang it,
not the
Leia.
winner. So
I said Leia was showing up.
It comes down to Mick or Corey. I don't know the best way to do this. Do you want me to just announce who the winner is or say who got second place and then the winner knows he got first place?
Oh, I don't know.
All right.
I don't think it freaking matters.
Yeah.
Between Corey and Mick, again, it feels
Within
like this
1
always
point.
happens within 1 point. Could have gone either way. Mick with the win, 26.
Nice.
Nice.
25.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Now, if you want me to go through
Yeah,
these,
I can add a recount.
Thank goodness.
I do.
know, right?
The one that did you in, Corey, that would have changed it is you said yes on Malachor, the planet Malachor showing up, and Mick said no.
Yeah.
So I think that was basically it because everything else. is
I
like,
said
you
yes,
got the
Leia. I said yes,
Coruscant.
Cody. I think
I was
that's-
also playing loosey goosey too, because if you go to
Yeah.
that podcast, I was like, let's have fun. Sure.
The other,
Like, I did a couple like
the
that.
other one we guys were different
That's
on
surprising.
was Grogu. Corey said Grogu was showing up.
Yeah.
Oh, and I said,
Yeah, I'm trying to think what other one you guys were
He
different
was
on.
there actually. You gotta look really.
that's true. That's true when they're going through the space.
Yeah, with the Purgles.
With the Purgles.
The other
Because if
one-
they can see the Purgles,
The
we
other-
can see them.
There
You
was
know what I'm
another
saying?
difference. Kanan, Corey, you said Kanan that was showing up.
He did technically.
You
At least
guys,
half his
you guys
chromosomes.
both said no on C-3PO. So
Unlucky.
Yeah.
if you
Ooh,
were-
Choop.
I think I said R2 shows up too.
you guys both
yeah.
you guys both said no on R2. I'm trying to think where's the other one. There's another one that. But yeah, I mean it was really
Wow.
close.
That's closer than I expected.
yeah.
Yeah, that's really close. That's really
there's
good.
you. -9.
Negative
Corey again,
what?
you got you said negative on. You said Mando was showing up.
Yeah, and I was
Because
like,
you went with Grogu.
I went with Grogu.
Mick said no.
Dude, I went crazy.
It is tough. With some of those characters, you're tied in. Like I was like, yes to C-3PO.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously R2.
Yeah.
You know?
And
Yeah,
then
you would
Mick
think.
said Obi-Wan was showing
But
up.
I did
R2's
say that,
And
yeah.
Corey said Obi-Wan wasn't, so that's a discrepancy there. So
Actually-
you guys were like back in like
Man, that's close. That's really
great.
close.
Mick said Leia was showing up. Corey said no. So it was. I mean, it was came down to just.
man.
And then the Coruscant. You said yes, Coruscant. Mick said no. So
Yeah.
Well,
But-
did we prove that it was Coruscant? Yeah.
It was Coruscant. So
And if it wasn't, I lost even more.
I got shellacked. Mick is the first winner of our trophy. We'll have Josh print another one out. You know,
We'll have
right?
different busts. We'll
do you
get
guys
like
want?
different busts.
Next.
We'll find out. I mean, it's going to be the acolyte. It's the next one, right? So we got to have a Sith Lord.
Okay.
Yeah. Ooh,
I mean, I
can
know
we
we
get Darth
got
Revan?
I'll see if this
That'd be
dude.
sick.
I'd see if this dude makes them.
If we have Revan or like who else would be cool? Sith Lords. Because Darth Maul's dope.
Yeah.
Do you want Darth Maul with a hood up?
We're just gonna add things onto him.
They do have another one. It's just the hood.
I mean, Darth Revan would look sick.
Yeah.
But,
Well,
or we could do.
we'll figure it-
What if they had like broken helmet Anakin or
that'd
Darth
be sick.
Vader? That'd be
sweet.
sick.
That would be
Pretty
really
sick.
cool.
Anyway, we'll see.
Well, there you go.
We'll look
Mick
into
is
it.
our winner.
Yay.
Yay.
Next Star Wars
Nice.
show.
Thank
we'll
you
do
for
some more.
painting and printing
Yeah.
out such a
Hey,
cool.
I might have
cool
a chance to win at the acolyte because I know like there's not going to be a solo or any. It's
You're
takes
still
away,
gonna go
so-
crazy.
Well, what?
Never
Yeah,
know.
it'll be interesting.
You're
What
still
our
gonna-
Yoda definitely
predictions will be there.
Yoda definitely showing up. You heard me here first. So now we're going to do our giveaway. Galactic Pedestrian Crystal made this awesome print for us. For the show for one of you
Yeah, not
winners.
for us. We don't get
And
one.
so-
Actually, we don't get any.
We made We made a video. If you commented, if you followed us on YouTube and you followed Galactic Pedestrian on Instagram and then commented on the video, you were entered to win
Well,
this.
and let's just say this: if you're watching this now, you're late. You're too late.
Yeah.
we're gonna pick it right now.
Sorry.
So you can't do it. So I'm going to read some of the comments we got
Okay,
and we'll pick our favorite.
let's hear it. Yeah, let's
And-
pick our favorite. Go ahead, bro.
Just
read it, man.
Okay.
Just read it. Let's read it.
We got one
always.
from, and I'll probably miss some here, but just so you
Just
know.
a couple highlights.
We're just gonna do some highlights.
Yeah.
Jordan Elton. We're gonna say name.
that?
Yeah, it's
Oh, we're
his
we're-
comment was
we're
because I
doxing
want
people?
it. Because I want it was the comment.
Hey,
I don't know
you
if
know
that's
what?
gonna do it for
that
you.
was,
but
a highlight. That was a highlight.
I'm
Straightforward.
Just
No,
gotta
he-
throw-
yeah, man of few words.
Gatspicus_IG said, I would love to give this print to a friend from work who recently got an Ahsoka tattoo. He's super obsessed, and this would make his year. It is definitely for this humble and selflessly heroic reason, and nothing at all to do with the potential of receiving a sneaky dice replacement. Live long and prosper always.
Wow.
And he did the Spock thing. So,
Wow.
Okay, so
which I don't know if we can do that. It's about
so you got
Star Wars.
disqualified.
Yeah.
The next one is from
That's a good one.
SN Hugh Art. This is the winner you were looking for.
Oh, did it work
Is
on you guys?
there a hand wave after?
There is not. There's a winky face.
Oh,
Close to the
That's a
hand
different way of doing it.
Yeah.
You're waving
Greg-
your eye.
I'm pretty sure that's what Obi-Wan did.
Greg the artist commented, I would love to win this print because it's such a great interpretation of the Star Wars style. It has the feel of a classic Star Wars movie poster and includes all of the interesting characters that have been parts of many different movies and TV series, all come together for this show.
Can I just say something? I don't know who this guy is, but it sounds like the answer that the teacher wanted to hear. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
You gotta
Hey,
try
you
your
gotta
best.
It
do what
sounds
you gotta
like the
do,
suck
bro.
up at school. Is like, this is what you said in the lesson, teacher.
Well, you got to do it. Bearded Beast commented.
Like the
He
name?
had multiple comments, but his on the
Comments.
Instagram was, Ahsoka is one of my top 3 favorite characters. May the council look upon me with good graces, and may the force be with you.
Yes. I like that. He wished us well. I like that.
If you would have said Ahsoka's his number 1 favorite character, then maybe.
I respect that he was honest. Instead of
Top
just
3 at
sucking up,
least.
telling me what I need to hear.
Okay, that's
So,
true.
well, here's his other comment. I'm going to throw his other comment because
Okay.
he put it on the YouTube channel.
Okay.
Love the podcast, and the print is amazing. Would look great as part of my collection. May the council look upon this comment with good graces, and may the force be with you. Okay, he likes that line.
I like that.
And then we have Elise M. Scott, which is the Star Wars girl on Instagram, I think but she commented on the YouTube. It says, I'd love to win this piece because it is very beautiful and would make amazing wall art. I especially love the part with Pav T and Ahsoka's father with baby Ahsoka and the fact that Maul is included in this piece.
Very nice.
Nice.
Those are the comments we've gotten.
That's crazy that you guys all. Okay, yeah. Okay, go ahead. That's crazy because I actually have a favorite one, and I don't think it's gonna be the same one.
Well, okay. Well, this is what we said we were gonna do. We said we were gonna vote and pick one.
Right.
So my vote was for Elise M. Scott, the one I just read.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See,
Josh's vote was the same.
Yeah.
And then Galactic Pedestrian voted for that one.
So who was the one? Not the first one, but the second one. Was that someone we knew?
Second.
Or it was like I
Vaughn
want
Prosper?
No, it was the one that I wanted to give. Yeah, it was the one where it was like I wanted to give it to a friend. What
That's,
Gatsbicus?
do we know who that
Underscore?
was? We didn't know
That's
who
someone
was.
that follows, I think, Galactic Pedestrian.
Oh, okay.
on-
Yeah.
I thought that was a really good comment.
Yeah?
I would have voted for that one because it wasn't getting it for themselves; it was for someone else.
Yeah, I think
It's a Jedi way.
I think I would have voted that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was closer than it seemed.
it's okay, Mick. We got first and second in the quiz. It's fine.
So just that Star Wars girl is the one we voted for. So she has won the print.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
she won the print.
She gets a print.
A print.
A
We're
print.
actually going to do a second drawing.
There you go.
And this is how this one's going to work. All the what are they called?
Usernames, you know.
Usernames. If you commented, you're in here. You didn't put hers in, right? Because she already won one. Okay.
I don't think so.
So
Unless you want to
And
win
if,
two.
and if she has me,
Scripted.
rip it up. You know?
So,
Scripted, guys.
that's how it works.
Scripted, fake,
So
fake.
So now, first of all, thanks for everybody for entering. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
We're
thank
just
you.
a small channel. We're just, we're trying to get more followers. And also thank you to Crystal, aka Galactic Pedestrian, for making this awesome art and allowing us to give it away. So without further ado,
Further ado.
Jonah picked
no,
the-
I
You gotta hold
already
it
did the
above
other.
their eye.
Corey gets
eye
to
line.
pick it. Corey
Oh,
gets
now
to
I get to pick.
Yeah.
Mix it up real good.
Oh yeah, I'm mixing. I'm mixing.
We're real high tech around here.
Good. Yeah, I can do this.
Okay, yeah, read it out.
Oh gosh.
Username.
No way, Mick. We win. It's gets because underscore IG. Let's go. Scripted. Hashtag scripted. If you can zoom in, there it is. That's the proof.
Sure they're not all
Yeah. Show another one. Show another one to the screen or to the video.
Yeah.
Just to prove.
SN Hugh Art.
All right, there you go.
There we go.
So,
there we go.
hey,
Yeah, they're in there. They're in
I'm
there.
super
Bearded
pumped.
Beast. Sorry, Bearded Beast.
I'm so pumped that this person won.
Yeah, and
Congratulations.
Greg the artist. There you go.
Gats because. Congratulations on the second.
That's right. Hey, there you go.
One of two.
Yes. Yeah.
Ahsoka Prince.
That's right. We will reach out to
Wow.
you to get your information so that we can send.
Wow.
Congratulations
to the winners. That's how, dude. Karma, dude. I don't believe in karma, but
the
karma.
The force.
The
The
force.
force.
The force. The force.
What are the
Force, of course.
The Chlorians?
no the strings of fate? The strings of
yeah,
fate.
there
Strings
you
of
go.
fate.
Yeah.
That's right. Wow.
Hey,
Amazing.
that is going to do it for our episode. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Thank you so much for entering the contest. Congratulations to Mick on winning the
Thank
first
you.
official
Thank you.
Sea Dog Mall trophy.
That's an original right there.
That's an original. That's going to be worth some
Hand
money.
painted.
Original.
When
Can
we're
you
dead.
sign it?
Sure.
What's the name of your
No.
company you're starting?
No.
Yeah. Sea Dog Miniatures or something like that.
Sea Dog Industries.
Vandalay Industries.
Corey's painted minis.
Corey's Painted Minis. That's right.
Is that what you said?
I can't remember. It's something
Custom
like
minis, I think.
Yeah,
Corey's Custom Minis.
It's not a
Be
thing.
on the lookout for that
not a thing.
brand new business coming out. We appreciate you hanging out with us and watching. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We're everywhere. We're growing. We're taking over the world.
Yo, if you
And-
guys like Jonah's face, follow our TikTok.
hey, I got
It's
to
a great source of entertainment. You get to see his fat head talking about stuff. It's awesome.
That's right. Thank
I
you.
love it. I watch
There you
you all
go.
the time, man. I'll throw you up. Ooh, what's Jonah doing?
Thank you. Appreciate that. We'll be back next week with more Nerd Age Podcast. See you later.
See ya.
Bye, everybody. And congratulations to the winners.
Hey.